You're highly welcome, my dear brothers and sisters out there. I'm glad that you just clicked to watch this message. Today I'm going to be talking about the role which the children of Japheth are going to be playing in the transitioning of the old legacy system into the new financial world. Because you need to be able to understand that the scripture made a very, very important definition or prophecy about the children of Japheth, which if you understand it, you will be able to really know the role which they are playing. Because the Bible says that Japheth is going to dwell in the tent of Shem. Now, you need to be able to understand that while this particular prophecy is being fulfilled, that means, that a certain role will be played by the Japhetic bloodline. And this particular role that is going to be played by Japhetic bloodline, if the children of Israel are still blind to this particular role, they are still blind based on the things which was already being conspired against them, then that means they might not be able to see this prophecy that was being made to Abraham for Japheth. So why the children of Japheth are walking, if you are not inclined in the spiritual awakening, you will not be able to see that prophecy of Japhetic bloodline walking, which through their walk, it is going to it's going to cause in the ushering in of the rise of the children of Israel. Now, what am I saying about? What am I talking about, my dear brothers and sisters? You need to be able to understand these things, The word has to go into the next reality, next levels of things. The old legacy system has to crumble. But somebody got to play a role. Somebody needs to play a role in order to bring it down. Now, before these things is being brought down, somebody is already holding a certain people hostage. And the person who is holding these people hostage, the people whom they are holding hostage are the children of Israel. So those people, which is Babylon, holding the children of Israel hostage. So those people who are being held hostage by Babylon, the result of what is being played by the children of Japheth is going to, like I said, usher in their own liberation. It's going to fast forward. It's going to push towards their own liberation. And this is something that you need to be able to understand, because right now we are seeing the downfall, the downward trajectory of the land of the people of Babylon. So why they are going down? What does the Bible say? That Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of what follows. Now, this is why I want you to be able to really understand the role that these people who are called the children of Japheth are going to be playing, because you need to be able to understand this. And as I've been saying, that these people, this Japhetic bloodline, talk about things that are happening. We know that the people who are called them Russian, the Ukrainians, the Ashkenazim, these people, them all are the children of what? Of Japheth. Now, the ones who are in the land of Israelis, or the people who are called the Israelis in the land, we know that these are not the ones that I'm talking about, because these ones are actually also part of the people who are called the Japhetic. So they are not the original Israelite, because the children of Israel, the original owners of that particular land, are in exile, where they were being blindfolded by the people who conspired against them to keep them dumb in those particular land. So the children of Japheth, the Japhetic bloodline, which when you hear about, different Javan is going to be playing a role in, Meshach is going to be playing a role in, the Ashkenaz is going to be playing a role in, and all these people, like I said, the children of Japheth are going to be playing a role in the liberation of the children, the true children of Israel. So this is why you need to be able to go back into the scripture in order to understand what the scripture said in regards to the people, in regards to the book of Joel chapter number 3. It said that I'm going to gather all nations and I'm going to bring them back down, not back, but bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And that is to say, he's going to bring them all back one after another. And then what is going to happen to them? That he's going to judge them. Why? Why do you want to do that? Why do you think that they had to be able to do that? Because what? Because this is a time to do what? To judge each and every one of them. This is the time to be able to judge them. Why is he going to judge? Because of the people who have been enslaved for the long. These people have been working for 400 years, and it is time to liberate these people, bro. So the whole thing that you're seeing is all about the crumbling of what? Of that particular Babylon, through which, who is going to play a role in what? In pulling down this Babylon down. Who is going to play a role in it? This is what you see Japheth is doing. So while Japheth is working, this is why you see that what the things that is happening between Russia and Ukraine, these are the same brothers, these are the same people. Yeah, some people will say that they are not. Go back to the history and be able to trace back, and you're going to see that these things all connect to what they all connect. They are all brothers over there from the same father and mother, which are all the children of Japhetic bloodline, playing a role which is going to cause. This is why the Bible, like I said, the Bible said that what that is going to bring them bound into the valley of Jehoshaphat, a place of decision. And that place of decision, what is going to be the ultimate purpose of that place of decision is to be able to crumble the world economy. Are you talking about nuclear weapon? Everything, blow everything up. Let everybody go back to using stick, bows, and arrows in order to fight. And then, after the destruction of whatsoever, what is going to happen? Just like I'm saying, is going to bring in, is going to rise, is going to cause the rise of those people who have been enslaved for the longest within Babylon. These are all conspiracy things which has been going on in the sense, but if you understand the magnitude, how deep, this is, everything will begin to be able to make sense. This is why I tell you that the days of the United States dollars are numbered. Somebody got to checkmate these people. And who are the people who have been brought in order to checkmate them? The children of Japheth are playing this role. You need to be able to understand. And so this is the reason why already you see that the things which is happening in the next dimension, they are already also playing role in regards to building another world reserve currency other than dollar, right? Because they already know that this one is going to crumble. Now, remember and understand what I'm telling you, my dear brothers and sisters, that when you talk about the children of the Japhetic bloodline, they are playing a major role. They are playing a role within the third dimensional world of reality in order to cause the transitioning, the world global reset. It's all about changing the status quo. And in the process of changing the status quo of the world global reset, because the old legacy system has to crumble. Now, this is now going to usher in the rise of those people who have been enslaved, who are the true children of Israel. The true children of Israel, I'm not talking about the people who are called the Israelites today. The people who are called the Israelites today are also the Japhetic people. They are the Ashkenazim. And those Ashkenazim are part of the people who are hired as contractors by the children of Abraham to put them in that land, to protect and to prevent that particular land on behalf of the children who are on exile. So this is why the Bible said that Japheth is going to dwell in the tent of Shem. Doing what? Protecting the land. They have their brother in the region of Caspian Sea. They have their brother in Ukraine. They have their brothers in Russia, which is where the bloodline is coming through. The percentage, don't you hear what is really going? Don't you really understand the magnitude of these things? The days of the United States dollar is numbered. Haven't you ever sat down before and you ask yourself, why do you really think that the Russians are one of the highest, have the highest reserves of gold in the whole planet? Don't you think that these things have already been in plan, in the making for the longest? It's because they at the time knows that they are going to play a role in crumbling down the whole world economy, and which is going to now turn people back to what is really called, the monetary policy, in order to do to tie their own oil based on the gold which they all have in reserve. And by so doing, the value of the United States will continue crumbling completely. Because the so-called Babylon does not have its own gold. It does not have the things that is tangible. They only go into different countries and cause wars to take the natural resources that belong to those people. So these people have been kept for the longest in order to be an instrument that are going to be used in order to checkmate in order to checkmate the so-called Babylon. This is why for the longest these people have been buying gold. They have the highest world gold reserve. You know, you heard them saying that they want to be able to tie their own crude oil based on the ruble. And very, very soon, they are going to remove it from ruble and tie it to gold. And so what do you think that has happened? If that happened, that is going to be the death of what? Of the United... And the United States are ready to go to war. And that is exactly the plan in order to pull them inside that war, to destroy the capability, the capacity of that particular worthless piece of paper. And raise the people who have been kept in captive, who have been captivated. That is literally who have been enslaved within the system of of Babylon. This is why I tell you that the rise of the continent of Africa is imminent. You can't stop it. Look, why do you think the Bible said that it's going to bring them down to the valley of Japheth? Let them come all and do what? And fight and kill themselves. Let them come. They have all built all those technologies, isn't it? Let them come over and do what? And test their technologies there. So they were going to use the technologies which they have constructed, which they have shaped. They are going to use their nuclear power. They are going to use their nuclear whatsoever which they have constructed. Their drones, their armored vehicles, their soldiers, their armies whatsoever to destroy themselves. And when they destroy themselves, they kill themselves and they spoil all those weapons and whatsoever they have made. What is going to happen next? What do you think is going to happen next? The next war, is going to be fought with bows and arrows. And who are going to be the people who are going to be the leaders of those particular? This is now going to be the time whereby you are going back into the real wars when the kings are going to be the ones in the forefront. We're talking about going back and overstanding the wars that has been. And that is the reason why you need to be able to open up your eye that the end of the so-called United States dollar is here. Somebody got to be able to bring it down. This is the reason why I tell you that they have already had another plan in order to create another form of whatsoever digital currencies which they already have in place, which is going to be like a one-world currency. What I'm saying is that you need to be able to really overstand and see how our Heavenly Father does things in order to do what? For the children who have eyes to see. Because their liberation is so near. It's so near. You see, the people who are called the Israelis today, they still have the conflict. They still have the problem between themselves and the Palestinians. But we all know, like I said, the people who are there, they themselves know that the land that they are in is not at peace with them, because the land cannot be at peace with them when the land itself knows that these people are strangers. What I mean by strangers is that these people are contractors from the children of Japheth. The children of Abraham put them there. Because the children of Abraham are on exile. So they are contractors working on behalf of the children of Israel, the true children of Israelites, who are in exile in Babylon. So who is going to liberate them? Because they are expecting a savior, When the Most High sends somebody to be able to help them, so many of them are still blind because a conspiracy was being made on their head, on their neck, which is in the book of Psalm number 83. So they don't even know what is going on. They don't even know who they are. That conspiracy has blindfolded them. Because if it's not blindfolded, they will be able to see who is working on their behalf, who is working in their favor. But they were too blindfolded not to see who is working in their own favor. This is what you need to be able to understand when it comes to what the global reset. The world system got to be reset. It needs a reset. It must have to be a reset. It can't continue like this. The days of the dollar, the supremacy of dollar, which has been tied with petrol, is numbered. Somebody else got to be able to do what to bring it down. And what I mean is that you see the same thing that happened during the time of Muammar Gaddafi, when he was trying to be able to remove the tying of petrodollar to gold, and then what happened? They bombarded him. They just literally bombarded him. Why? Because they do not want it. And that same thing is coming back, because that is what Russia is about to be able to do. Now, the Russians are going to pull these people's leg. They are going to pull them. They would try to flee. This is why Ukraine is telling them, come, put no flying zone to these people. They said, no, they ain't going to put no flying zone because it's going to cause a world war. They know what they are trying to dodge. They know that they are going to, the power of their dollar is about to do what? To completely crumble. You need to be able to understand the magnitude of this. So why do you really, this is why I'm telling you that something has been in the making, and this is the reason why you see the Russians for the longest have been building up, buying the whole gold, which they can lay their hand on this particular face of the earth. Because they are going to remove the petrodollar system, and they are going to tie the petrodollar system to gold. Now, recently you heard what they have announced, that their own system is going to go back to ruble. If you want to buy their own crude oil, you should pay them with ruble. And very soon they are going to remove it from ruble, and they are going to put it towards the gold. And what do you think is going to happen to the piece of paper which is called dollar? And do you think that this time around the United States now is going to fold this out? That is when NATO is going to be very effective now, active, in order to go to war with Russia. Do people think that this thing is going to just end suddenly? This is an extension of something that is going to draw, and a lot of people are going to be exhausted along the way. We are talking about a transition of one world into the next. A global reset. Do you understand what I mean by from the grassroots reset, turn around all those things, whatsoever? Turn it around by turning up what they call the world reserve currency, operating from the roots. They have a global reset, which they say that what is based on petrodollar system. Now crumble that petrodollar system. Let's see what is going to happen. Imagine why do you think that they're having issues with Saudis? Which is also, another game which they all are playing together. But there's something that I want you to be able to understand in regards to the role that the children of Japheth are playing in switching over in the global reset of the world economy, because this is going to usher in the liberation of a people who are called the children of Israel. Now, I'm not talking about the Israelis, because the Israelis are working for the children of Jacob. The Israelis are working for the children of Abraham. The Israelis are working on behalf of the children of Shem, who gave them that particular place to work. Because you need to be able to understand. A lot of people who are supposed to be there, the people who are supposed to be there, they are not in that particular land today. Because they are in exile. And why they are in exile, Israeli cannot have peace in that particular land, because the Palestinians know the secret of who actually supposed to be there. Neither will the Palestinians have peace, because them Israeli, which are the children of Japheth, knows the secret of who the original owners of that land of the Palestinians is. And this is why you see the conflict happening between these two people, and that there's this is why you need to be able to understand the deep secret of why war, every time war between this person and this person, it's not going to say it's a non-stop. When there is going to be a declaration of peace, the next thing you're going to see is another missile going up, because these are one children going after the other in regards to throwing bomb, because this one knows that this land does, and the people who the land belongs, they don't even know what is going on in the world. Because why? They've been blindfolded. They've been kept in darkness. And this is why you need to open up your eyes in order to see the direction where the world is going to. The children of Israel They are going to rise. And this is the reason, this is the fear of the word itself. This is the fear of the people who have conspired against them, because they know that the rise of these people is going to be so disastrous for them. And how do you really think and understand that these people are going to rise? How do you really think that this is going to happen without the destruction of all the things which Babylon has created against them? This is what you're seeing. The crumbling of the legacy system in order to usher in the rise of a people. And that legacy system was being tied on this piece of paper which is called dollar. So, but somebody was being raised in order for the longest to be checkmating. This is the reason why you see bricks were even being created. The Russians have been monitoring on how, the children of Japheth have been monitoring on how to do what, to destroy that worthless piece of paper which they call dollar, which was being tied originally from gold. From gold, they removed it and they put it into what? Into petrodollar system. And after which they removed it and they printed whatsoever they are printing. And now somebody is going to, like I said, somebody is going to do what? Is going to remove it. Is going to totally destroy that mindset that people think that this particular coin is being tied to, this particular currency is being tied to petrol, when actually what they literally do is to be able to go into different words. And if you have oil, they tend to be able to go to war in your own land in order to do what? To steal and kill. The Bible said that what the thief cometh not but to come, steal, kill, and destroy. Destroy everything they have just in order to do what? To secure the oil which is in the sun. Why? Because they want it to be able to be tied to that piece of paper. They want to say that this is where the paper derives its own value. So what do you think is going to happen to that particular worthless piece of paper by the time that the Russians say, you know what, stop paying us in this piece of paper which you call dollar, because we don't see the value. Pay us in gold. And America don't, and Babylon, which is America, does not have no gold. What do you think? This is how the whole economy of that continent is going to do what? Is going to be crumbling. Babylon is falling and is falling and is falling. You need to be able to, it's not rising anywhere. It's going to completely continue deteriorating. Because the cry of the people who are in captives in their midst have been heard. And so somebody has been activated in order to do what? To usher in something that is going to do what? That is going to help those people, help them to liberate themselves from what? From the shackles of what? Of those particular Babylonian captivity which they are in. You need to understand the direction that the world is going to, that we're talking about a global reset. And this global reset, the children of Japheth are going to play a strategic role in bringing in this global reset. And that is a prophecy, and this prophecy will not go unfulfilled. So whatsoever that you're seeing, you need to go back and you ask yourself a deep questions in regards to what is holding this particular world economy. When it comes to whole currency wars and what have you, and what is going on in the world, you need to be able to understand that these people who are called the children of Japheth, they are at the top of this game. Their aim is to be able to do what? To bring down Babylon, to help, indirectly now helping the children of Jacob, the children of Israel, in order for them to do what? To rise. You need to open up your eyes, my dear brothers and sisters out there, because the message, the mysteries, the revelations, they are all before you. And it has already been proclaimed. And I pray, may the Most High, whose name is Yahuwah, be the one to be able to elevate your knowledge in order for you to understand the mystery of what is happening within the third dimensional paradigm. May you remain Baruch and remain strong in the name of Yahushua. Shalom, my dear brothers and sisters out there. Shalom.